Please say. Ajay, tell us something about yourself in 4-5 sentences which is not here in your tab.
Sir, I am from UP.
And you have already here.
Sir, I had done one intern at the time of my college that is not mentioned here. I was engaged with one NGO regarding teaching and mentoring students for their JEE preparation. JEE.
So you have already joined this service.
Yes, sir, I have joined, but I have taken extraordinary leave.
And the father been alone.
Yes, sir.
Which father is good?
Madhya Pradesh ka.
Very good father. Why do you want to join IAS? You may get a target. You will have to spend entire life in Delhi.
Sir, it's not about career, it's about service.
Well, what is so good about IAS? So bad about IAS?
So nothing good or bad, but I started this preparation thinking about IAS, and I thought IAS provides more diversity and other things.
You are from UP.
Yes.
Tell us names of top freedom fighters who came from UP outside the Nehru family.
Sir, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi.
बहुत कुछ चलेगा चलो मेरे 20th century.
Sir, Hasrat Mohani. Sir, Hasrat Mohani.
Okay, some other names who the entire country knows.
Sir, Ashfaqullah Khan was.
Okay. Come on, think.
I am thinking.
Nobody fought freedom struggle except Nehru. Some prime ministers of India.
Yes, sir.
Who?
Govind Vallabh Pant.
He was prime minister of India.
No, sir. He was freedom fighter and became first chief minister of
All right. I think prime ministers.
Lal Bahadur Shastri.
Taking 5 minutes.
Sorry, sir.
What happened to him? What he became prime minister? Then tell us something about him.
Sir, he took ranks in 1960s when there was challenges in at both food security front and
So he gave some slogan.
yes, sir. There is
What
one
was
rank,
that?
sir.
How did he die? What happened?
Sir, he was in Tashkent when the agreement was being signed.
What was wrong with him? In our view, your view, country's view.
Sir, I think that time that was the need of the hour.
And need of our, there was some shortcomings with the people, that's why he died. Then he was being criticized. Something was there which was not palatable to fellow Indians. Think about it.
Yes, sir, I will read out.
Okay, you studied IIT Kanpur. What is Kanpur's contribution in freedom struggle?
Sir, Kanpur has one of the greatest journalist, Gani Shankar Vidyarthi.
Good. And going back to Kasi Ghani's time.
Sir, at that time, the Kanpur was center of communist leadership.
So, Kasi Ghani Rani Lakshmibai.
Sir, Tatya Tope.
There is some place in Kanpur very close to IIT.
Sir, Moti Jheel is there.
Modi Jheel नहीं है. Very close to IIT. बिठूर नहीं गए कभी?
Yes, sir, Bittu Raya to
वहाँ पे राजा होता था. Anyway, you are in police.
Yes, sir.
If had you been DCP of Northeast Delhi, how would you have handled the Shaheen Bagh congregation?
Sir, I would go by the law and the standard operating procedure that is there to remove the crowd from gathering from
Give the
public
steps.
place.
In SOP, what would be the steps?
Sir, I will engage in dialogue and negotiation with the public and I will convince them that it is their right to protest but not to obstruct any public place. And I will, sir, use dialogue and if dialogue is not.
Will you give the permission to assemble together?
Yes, sir, I will convince
Give them
them.
space?
Yes, sir, there are some designated
Why was
places.
not that done by the police? You're absolutely right. Why was not that done? Why was that not done?
Sir, I think that police might have apprehensions that it might result in violence or security of those persons who are protesting there in terms of shifting them
seniors say don't do anything. That's why it's happened. How will you handle it?
Sir, since
You are the constitutional responsibility is on you.
Yes,
You
sir.
are the DCP of the area. But superior says, how will you handle it?
Sir, since my duty is to uphold the law, I'll do whatever law requires me to do.
Very good. What is this commissioner system in some cities in UK? What exactly is it?
Sir, before commissioner system, the police works under general direction and control of the district magistrate. But in commissioner system, the executive magistrate powers are given to police, so that the unified command is there in terms of their policy.
But in your view, is it a good step, bad step? Nothing, police did nothing in Delhi.
Sir, I
Do you
feel,
think these formalities matter? Or it is something else?
sir, I would say that it is necessary but not sufficient. There is much more.
What is necessary?
Sir, in urban areas and commissioner system, I think it will improve, but there are other issues regarding professional autonomy and giving more responsibility to the police and improving their decision making.
You see, Indian civil servants in general are lacking in something while administering the country. Take a dispassionate view as a citizen of India.
Sir, since
Or everything is perfectly hunky-dory.
no, sir, as a citizen, I would say that
What do civil servants lack in your opinion? Two things.
sir, I would say that connect and sensitivity to the
Empathy, okay, good.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing?
And the other thing is that working for the people.
What is empathy okay? Or
Sir, discretion, they often there are cases of misuse of discretion that result in corruption and other bigger issues.
corruption, yes.
Yes, sir.
Something else?
Sir, they work in the political supervision.
To carry routine.
You have used the word corruption.
Yes, sir.
Can you please define it?
Sir, corruption is misuse or abuse of power by any person who is entrusted with the authority to use that power for the public welfare.
So you are from Kanshiram Nagar or Kasganj?
Sir, it's now Kasigan. Earlier it was Kashinagar.
There have been some other name changes in your state of Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
One famous name change was Prayagraj.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with this changing of names in the state of Uttar Pradesh or any place in the country?
Sir, if there are historical and cultural reasons, then the government is well within its right to change the name of the places.
Which government is responsible? State government or central government?
Sir, state governments does, but it has to take clearances from various central ministries also. For example, some Ministry of Home Affairs and Department of Post.
Ministry of Railways is anywhere involved in this?
Yes, sir. Because the name also changes of the stations, railway stations.
So you have written your hobby as morning walk.
Sir, this is not hobby, but a activity that I generally do. I start my morning walk.
And jogging is separately.
Yes, sir.
So sometimes you walk, sometimes you jog, or it depends upon you, because this is a rare hobby that we have seen. Morning walk or jogging.
Sir, I think it's general activity that people start, and I prefer doing it because it's a very refreshing way to start the day.
Okay. And you are also reciting poems.
Yes, sir.
You write your own poems or you recite some famous poets?
Sir, I have written very few poems.
Okay. Name one famous poet from UP.
Sir, Firaq Gorakhpuri, Wasim Bareli, Mahadev Verma, Sutra Kumari Chauhan, there are plenty of poets from UP.
From your college there was one controversy regarding the recitation of poem. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir, it was when poem written by Faiz Ahmad. Yes. It was some controversy.
So do you think that poem is controversial?
Sir, Personally, I would say that every poem is need to be interpreted in a context. So interpreting in that context, I don't think that it was that controversial.
And as a Indian Police Services officer,
Sir, as a police officer, if any poem or any literary work has potential to incite violence or create disharmony, then it's my duty to curb that effect. Because yes,
so you understand what is crisis of conscience.
yes sir.
In the same situation, you might feel a crisis of conscience as a poet and as an IPS officer. How will you deal with that?
Sir, I will keep my personal ideas aside, and I will do whatever law requires me to do.
And does the law provide freedom of speech and expression?
Yes sir, but with reasonable restrictions.
Okay. Was regional restrictions part of our Constitution of India originally?
Sir, originally, I think it must be part, but they have increased the restrictions.
You think or it was?
Sorry sir, I am not done yet.
Go
Yes,
and
sir.
read up. One more question. There is a very famous river from Uttar Pradesh, our holy river Ganga.
Yes, sir.
And Uttar Pradesh is also a place which is famous for its spiritual and its religious nature,
Yes, sir.
especially the regions of Banaras. So, do you think the religious values come in between the combat of pollution in river Ganga?
Yes, sir. Because sir, the bio waste that human activity generate in the rivers that create a pollution in the river.
So, if you are asked to stop this bio waste in the river Ganga, will you compromise with the religious values of the people living in that region?
Sir, I would say both can be taken together. Sir, in Delhi, what the government did, they created artificial ponds to resurgence of idols in place of Yamuna. So that is keeping both environment and religious values together.
Okay, you mentioned sociology as your subject, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you name 3 or 4 Indian sociologists who like actually have read
Ma'am, G.S. Gode, M.N. Srinivas, A.R. Desai, and Andre Bhate.
you heard of JPS Odera?
Yes, ma'am, I have had one article of JPS over there.
What is M.N. Srinivas's main contribution? What is he famous for?
Ma'am, he studied books of South India and he gave concepts like Sanskritization, Westernization, both in dominant caste.
What is Sanskritization?
Ma'am, in Sanskritization, the lower caste or tribes, they start emulating the lifestyle and values of the upper caste to get social mobility in local caste structure.
What else did he say about is it having a good impact, positive impact on the Indian social system? Talk about it in any essay paper? Okay, now ask you something on foreign policy. How has the Kartar Singh corridor impacted on India-Pakistan relations?
Ma'am, it's a very very rare occasion when both countries which have a history of hostility and mutual mistrust, they came together forgetting all the differences, and there was rare bonhomie that was seen between India and Pakistan.
So, but that was one point of time. Do you think that can carry on?
Where our security agencies were a little worried. What happened?
Yes,
What
sir.
was the cause of that?
Sir, one senior police officer from
Because,
Ma'am, one senior police officer raised some concerns that the pilgrims, they can be trained or brainwashed or some radicalization can happen. It might hamper our security.
Terrorists in the garb of pilgrims.
Yes, ma'am. There are some apprehensions.
So was anything done about it? As a police officer, suppose you are posted there, what would you, what measures will you take to see that India's security is not happening?
Ma'am, I will strengthen the local intelligence about the activities that the pilgrims are being exposed to. I will coordinate with the local leaders and local people there and maintain a network, informers, feedback from the public, whatever is happening on the ground. And since it's a religious matter, I can't do anything overtly about it.
Is there some external,
Please, sorry.
is there some external influence on Sikhs in Punjab in university? From where is it?
Yes, sir, there were some issues 2-3 years back when I think Canada.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Canada, there were some influences.
Do you recall how was it announced Kartarpur corridor and there was some controversy right then? Like, what was the opinion?
Yes, sir, it was Prakash Parva tournament.
No. When it was announced that Pakistan will open this corridor, what was the opinion? There was something going on.
Sir, not
Please
aware.
tell us.
No,
The Imran Khan's sharing it.
okay, yeah. How do you perceive India-China relations?
Ma'am, India-China relations, there are both issues of common concern and differences also. We are cooperating in BRICS, we are cooperating at WTO, and still there are issues regarding boundary issues and having huge trade deficit and string of pearls policy and Belt and Road Initiative, especially CPAT. India sees it as violation of its territorial integrity. So these are some issues that India is facing.
Okay, on the trade aspect, what can be done, what possibilities are there to see that the balance reach some sort of a balance, if not exactly a balance? What can be done by India or China?
Ma'am, since India is a huge market, we have good bargaining power to pressurize China to open its markets. For example, China imposes phytosanitary restrictions on India's agricultural exports. So we can pressurize them to give some restrictions, and with that we need to compete with China and make our manufacturing more competitive so that our trade deficit reduces.
What about the pharmaceutical sector, like you said, China doesn't take anything from us, not much. So these things also have to be.
Ma'am, I read one thing that India depends about 70% of active pharmaceutical ingredients from China, and they are alternative and very cheap than whatever is manufactured in India. So we need to develop our own capabilities, give tax benefits, and provide industries there. So ultimate long-term vision should be make our Indian industries that much capable and competitive that Indian products are we can sold them in China.
Now, often, when there's some unease in our relationship with China, people say, we should ban Chinese goods, we should not buy any Chinese goods, to completely boycott. Do you think that, is basically is implementable in any way?
Ma'am, since China has integrated so much, even our festival, even our gods, they are manufactured by China. So I would say it is very difficult, but alternative is to make
Statues are made by China, or what?
Gods we make our own gods.
statues. I think practically it's difficult, but long-term vision is to make our industry that much capable.
I want to ask which year it was?
So it was created in 2008, December.
From which district it was separated?
So from Bihar.
Yes. And what it was separated? What are the reason behind? What was the reason why government thought that it would be relevant to form a new district by including trade, taxes, promises, separating this? And particular reason for which the government had decided to do this?
Sir, I am not aware of the government's explanation, but since I am resident of that area, I can give you some idea about the people's thinking of that area. they were like, people were not that much satisfied, that they were feeling that data is too big and they are being neglected, the projects are not being implemented here. So it was general concern of that people of that area. So it was formed out of Noida.
You belong to a particular community which is comprised of 54% of the total scheduled caste population in that area. Can you tell us some particular core issues related to this particular community? I think this may be one of the reasons by for separating the three taxes from data district to promote this community or to empower the particular section of the society. And because our section, our constitution provides such type of provisions and such type of things where the district can take such type of action. Do you think that there is any particular issue related to the area, Kajiramnagar, why it is considered as a separate district and why the government thought to create it as a separate district? You are educated of the area, you can give me some 2-3 important features and important requisite things about the area.
Sir, I would say the reasons were more political and policy decisions. So there were political reasons behind that. The government empowered that decided to give more representation to people of that community. There are also various statues of leaders of that community in state, other places also. So I would say that that was more of a political decision to get support on that.
Okay, tell me about the you working from police, IPS, Minister Research and Development. The major issue always being a concern for the government, for the public, to reform the police system. As the system is working on a particular basic statute from 1861, and now so many changes have been done, no doubt, community policing and aspects of finance. But second RC had suggested something in this report, and that report on public order and internal security is in which 5-6 major suggestions were given by the second RC. Can you tell me the name of the which report it was and what were the major suggestions of the committee?
Sir, I have not gone through the report, but the basic things that I have read, that was like political, undue, unwarranted political influence making police.
Which report it was? Because we have been reports.
Sorry, sir, I will. Yes, sir, I have read Prakash Singh, verdict, Singh guidelines. But actually, sir, I have not. I will go and read what
What is Article 15 of the Indian Constitution?
Sir, Article 15 says that the state shall not discriminate any citizen on the ground of race, religion, caste, sex, place of birth.
And in the same article, a provision is also given that the state can make special provisions for women and children and for SC, ST, OBC, etc.
Yes, sir.
Do you think the government policy, by providing the special positive discrimination like the concept for the upper caste also, do you think that it is according to the norms of the our constitutional ideology? What is your opinion about it? Providing the special reservation to the people, economically better people, however our constitution does not allow originally. Is it is against the norms of the constitution of the legislation?
Sir, the constitution was formed in a society of 1950s, and as a society we have progressed, we have seen tremendous changes in our social, economic, political sphere. 1950s, sir. Sir, in that decade, 50s. So, sir, we have witnessed tremendous changes, and constitution is a living document. So, it changes as per the changing need and requirement of society. Now, sir, what we are witnessing that economic criteria is also emerging as a indicator of social backwardness also. So, to keep that thing in mind, and the Parliament has decided to give another element in giving positive discrimination, that is economic backwardness. The rationale behind that was that economic economic backwardness is also an indicator of social backwardness, because the economy has emerged as a new thing, and so that's why I think they have given this extra thing.
Give me three important provisions related to empowerment of women which are included in our constitution.
Sir, 73rd and 74th Constitution Amendment, 33% reservation, that's political empowerment, making special provisions for women as for Article 16, that is one thing.
Article 16 in which clause?
I think it's second or third.
What is Article 16 of the constitution?
Article 16 provides reservation, and equality in employment, and then state can take special provisions for backward sections and women. Sorry, sir, I think that was in Article 15. So that is one.
Well, have you heard about inner line permit regime? What is inner line permit regime?
Sir, it was as per Bengal Eastern Provincial Regulation Act, was British regime act, in which any Indian resident and ex citizen they need to take permission to get entry into some areas which were very fragile as per their culture was concerned. So to limit the foreign outsider influence, they have provided inner line permit.
In our constitution, so many provisions are given for protection of scheduled caste and community. But scheduled areas are also being defined in our constitution so that their progressive steps can be taken by the local residents. Can you tell me about that provision or that schedule where the provisions for the administration of scheduled area have been given?
There is Schedule 5.
Schedule 5.
Between constitutions.
Okay. In Schedule 5, schedule area have been defined.
Yes, sir.
But as you said that the 73rd Constitution Amendment Act that provided for the Panchayati Raj system, there is a PACE Act.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the relation between these two?
Sir, scheduled areas, they don't have a Panchayati Raj system. They were kept apart from that. And PACE Act introduced Panchayati Raj to scheduled areas. This was the change then. Panchayati elections and the representation to women. This was introduced in scheduled areas through PACE Act.
Okay. Do you think that our constitution needs a complete change? Your opinion, only your opinion. As you said that it was constituted in 1926 November 1929 that was
Yes, sir.
National Law Day, which is considered as now, and you have given a reason for providing reservation in the higher societies and upper caste, that society has been changed. When we had constituted a law to govern the society for that time, now the society has been changed. Then do you think that there is a need for a comprehensive change in our constitution?
Sir, I want to clear myself a little bit regarding my earlier statement. What I want to convey was that a lot of things have changed, but I never mentioned that everything has changed. There is something like issues of women, issues of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, the poverty, the illiteracy. These have remained there in Indian society, and 70 years is a short time to make a complete overhaul in society that has issues regarding centuries and generations. So I would say that Indian society has been going through transformation. There are some areas which have changed, and something that are still there and we need to carry on to improve that area also.
No, I'm asking that constitution was to change maybe introduced because change, you can say that change is negative, change is positive. And our constitution makers have also suggested in the Constituent Assembly that we are providing Article 368, which can be used to make our constitution more relevant, more logical, more rational, and the Rank Committee also suggested
Yes, sir.
that we should do it. Even Subramanian Committee 2000 had suggested that the constitution must be changed in a positive format. So, as a aspirant, as a civil servant I'm not talking about like civil servant, I'm talking about that a citizen of India. What do you think that the constitution was formulated, constituted at that time for maintaining our objective resolution? If our objective resolutions is still relevant, they are the part of basic structure. We are not going to change that, but the new mechanism, new methodologies, and new expectations must be incorporated.
Yes, sir.
Then, in this respect, what is your opinion?
So then I would say that basic structure, there are some basic things that our constitution envisions they remains relevant, and other parts we can have a redo, have a reassessment of their relevance and what needs to be changed in terms of societal changes, and then we can go for change for proper discussion and
It's
realization.
the last question.
Yes.
99th Constitution Amendment Act 2014 was enacted by the Parliament to make the appointment system of judges more transparent and to ensure more accountability in process.
Yes, sir.
But court had decided in 2015 that that is unconstitutional because it interferes with the independence of the judiciary. The question is, in your opinion, it was really a fact that it was hurting the independence of judiciary, the sense of Judicial Appointment and Commission Act. It was hurting the independence of judiciary. Do you think that the reason given by the court behind declaring it unconstitutional was correct?
Sir, I would say that Indian judiciary, the appointment and collegial system is very opaque. So the National Judicial Appointment Commission was a progressive thing, and it should be interpreted in that light. And I don't think that it was some breach of independence on judiciary. There might be some genuine concerns of judiciary, but scrapping act altogether, I would say that it was not advisable. The judiciary independence should be there, but not judicial exclusivity.
Ajay, we have asked you a number of questions about police and policing. How do you think, rather, which one of the ideals of Gandhi do you think is most relevant to policing as a practice?
Sir, Gandhi's talisman. Thinking about the poorest, weakest person while taking any action that is expected from you.
Just yesterday, Mr. Doval mentioned in his interaction with police officers, there is something called as impression gap and trust deficit when it comes to police officers. Your views on
Sir, it's a real issue. As the perception, as Doval sir said, that perception needs to be managed also, because justice should not only be done, it should also seem to be done. So in that way, the public police relation that needs a change, and society needs to have trust and sense of comfort with police, which I think some is missing in today's time.
Don't you think without trust, managing law and order becomes more of a dictatorial exercise than a community exercise as it is played out?
Yes, sir, I think it will show that trust is the biggest asset of any civil servant. And community and society has trust, and they are doing the things for their own betterment. Then only law and order can be handled with the cooperation of society.
What do you think are the challenges of managing a society like Delhi vis-a-vis, say, a Madhya Pradesh or a UP?
Sir, in Delhi,
More from policing terms, but
sir, in Delhi, society is more diverse. The society is urban. Law and order issues are often spontaneous, and they are very diverse regarding protests, regarding processions, regarding some sloganeering. But in society where the main occupation is land, their conflicts are basis on the basis of little things like on land, on the basis of caste, on the basis of community.
They're not futile things.
Sir, they are not futile, but sir, the issues are
You mentioned that Delhi is more homogeneous.
Delhi is
Society.
heterogeneous. Delhi is more cosmopolitan.
Yes, it is more heterogeneous. Keeping the caste system in view, rather casteism in view, don't you think the hinterland is more heterogeneous as compared to a urban setup like Delhi? The class and caste fissures are more obvious in say a Kasganj as compared to a Patel Nagar over here.
Yes, sir, but I think the interaction between the different silos of society, there are less in urban, in rural areas. Because sir, in rural areas there are villages and the naglas are there, tolas are there. So people of same community, same caste are living there. So their interaction is little less. But in urban area, I have to go and I have to work at other place, I am living at other place. So the interaction is little more across the caste class barriers.
That makes it more homogeneous, no? More mixing of the society, intermingling of the society. That is exactly it. You follow cricket?
Yes, sir.
I'll mention 3 captains of the Indian team: Ganguly, Dhoni, and Kohli. Whose leadership style do you like the most?
I like the style of Dhoni.
Very cliche, but okay, go ahead. Why?
Sir, I like the way he controls his emotions and the emotional intelligence and the way he back up the players in the team. Because a lot of players who were in the initial phase of their career in cricket and he continued backing up. So that I like the way leader shows trust on his teammates. Because the trust is something that gives them boost to give out their best in the team. Okay.
At the same time, the criticism goes that he was at times too laid back, wherein he could have changed the situation by proactively acting on it. He decided to just let it reach a point where it could not be salvaged.
Yes, sir, that was his strategy to take the game into deep and some situation that game can't be changed. So I think it was genuine criticism more.
Sir,
Very good.
Sir, 12th of March.
And how much percentage did you get last time?
Sir, I got 151 marks.
50, about 3.
Out of
276. It's about 50 plus.
Yes, sir.
You have good personality, confidence level is good, voice is good, and most of the answers were well argued, well attended.
So one thing I would like to take, you use the word lower caste. These things may go against you. Either use so-called lower caste.
Or underprivileged,
Yes, sir.
disadvantaged,
Yes, sir. Underprivileged sections.
or long disadvantaged sections.
Consider more points. And also go through the fundamental rights particularly. Because so many things are going on in the SRE. So make sure while you go for your personality test, revise your fundamental rights properly.
Yes, sir, I will revise that.
That is important.
कैमरे याद रखिएगा कोई भी कैमरे का कैमरे
आपको याद रखना है
सर याद रिवाइज नहीं किया बट हाँ याद
कि preamble में 4 components हैं और the most important component defines the nature of the quality, even the objective of the governance, philosophy. अब ये सब इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बदलने में बेस बना सकते हैं कि आपको फिलोसफी को अचीव करने के आज का इंस्ट्रूमेंट बिकॉज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जस्ट अ पॉलिटिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट according to these rules and the instrument should be launched all the time. Instrument take out हम ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज नहीं कर सकते बट हम इंस्ट्रूमेंट तरीके चेंज कर सकते हैं कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में तरीका है पाने का बाकी तो हमारा सब कुछ हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव है एंड स्पेशली इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से रिलेटेड इंस्टीट्यूट बहुत ही अच्छा है अभी तक हमने लोगों का मैंने लिया है समय में एंड यू आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट तो इसमें आपके बताने का तरीका आपकी चीज़ों को एक्सप्लेन करने का तरीका पूरा आंसर आपका आंसर बहुत मायने नहीं रखता उसे प्रेजेंट करने का तरीका उसके पीछे लॉजिक ये मायने रखता है क्योंकि एक पॉइंट पे सबके अलग अलग यूज हो सकता है अब हमें भी चाहिए से आपको पूरा रिपोर्ट बना कर देंगे।
One minor point. The stream of consciousness theory has been questioned and challenged because it's not just India that China is encircling, because people have this perception that China is after India, but China is encircling the whole world.
Yes, South China Sea.
So this stream of consciousness theory, I think sometime in 2004 or 5, some American military, scholar had enunciated, but it has been challenged. China wants to encircle whole world, not India alone. We Indians, of course, they are closer to our neighbors than to us because we have an uneasy relationship. So anyway, so you can have a look.
Yes, ma'am. I will again.
बढ़िया।
ऑल द बेस्ट अजय, आप टॉपर्स में हैं, हमारी शुभकामनाएं।
Thank you, sir, for your blessings.
And sir, one more thing I would like to suggest. You have a very smiling face, that is very good. But if a question that is sensitive, they are asking, make sure you do not smile.
हाँ, it's not
Just
process very
keep the
Natural instincts.
Just make sure you do not smile at that. Because that might go.
So there was some instance today.
It's just a added sense.
वो स्मार्ट में बदल जाता है। You are smiling at the question.
बस वो
Be comfortable.
नेचुरल।
First wishes.
Blue.